Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. We're jumping right in today because we're tackling something that has literally caused countless sleepless nights across the globe. The insanely volatile, unpredictable, and yes, highly lucrative world of cryptocurrency.
Now, we're pulling our insights today directly from Herman Strange's book, Mastering AI-Driven Crypto Investing. Honestly, just looking at this cover right here, it immediately brings back the immense stress and the really high-stakes emotional reality of trading. I mean, you know the feeling, right? When your own hard-earned money is on the line, those flashing red and green candles on the screen, they're not just data points anymore. They feel like life or death. The pressure is absolutely real.
Okay, let's dive into this. Because are you just totally exhausted by that constant crypto roller coaster? You know, the massive market swings that drag you from absolute top-of-the-world euphoria straight down into sheer panic and eventually just downright depression? Believe it or not, that emotional fatigue is actually the number one thing sabotaging your investments. It's usually not a lack of technical knowledge holding you back. It's the intense psychological toll of the market. Which brings us to Section 1, your brain on crypto, and specifically, cognitive biases. So there are 5 major cognitive biases constantly working to sabotage your trades. You've got confirmation bias, which makes you stubbornly ignore bad news about your favorite coin. Anchoring bias makes you fixate on one specific past price. Overconfidence? Well, that obviously leads to excessive risk. But let's really zero in on herd mentality. This is a massive one. This bias literally forces traders to just blindly follow the crowd. You end up buying when everyone else is hyped and selling when everyone is terrified, completely throwing your own independent analysis out the window. And then there's loss aversion bias. This is a prime example of cognitive self-sabotage. Psychologically speaking, the pain you feel from losing a dollar is so much more intense than the joy of gaining a dollar. And because of this weird quirk in our brains, traders will hold on to losing positions for way, way too long. It's this irrational, desperate hope for a magical market rebound. In fact, studies show a staggering percentage of day traders lose money precisely because they just cannot bring themselves to cut their losses early. Ultimately, they just end up destroying their own capital.
All right, moving on to Section 2, Surviving Fear and Greed and Navigating Market Extremes.
Fear and greed. They are basically the twin engines driving all market volatility. Just think back to the early 2018 downturn. Fear triggered this massive, entirely irrational wave of panic selling, locking in absolutely devastating losses for millions of people. But on the flip side, you have greed. Greed is what drives that perilous fear of missing out, FOMO, during a massive bull run. It pushes you to take totally excessive risks, buying in at the absolute peak, just because it looks like everyone else around you is getting rich. If you find this analysis valuable, please like and subscribe to Knowledge Lighthouse to help us bring more truths to light. Now let's look at the solution in Section 3, Emotional Intelligence and Building Your EQ. We can build this into an actionable 4-step defense system. Step 1 is practicing mindfulness, so utilizing simple breathing exercises to actually stay present and grounded when the market suddenly flashes red. Step 2 is self-reflection, actively working to recognize your own emotional triggers. Step 3 is developing a rigid trading plan with extremely strict risk management. And finally, Step 4 is treating every single failure as a learning experience. Listen, sticking to a predefined plan is absolutely crucial because it completely neutralizes those impulsive, emotion-driven decisions we were just talking about. And this brilliantly illustrates our point. Billionaire investor Mark Cuban approaches crypto with exactly this mindset. He emphasizes combining solid technical analysis with the sheer discipline to avoid any emotional attachment to a coin. Seriously, if the data says sell, you sell. You don't hold on out of loyalty, and you certainly don't hold on out of hope. You have to be ready to move without hesitation at a moment's notice. Let's turn to Section 4, AI and Human Emotion, and what this means for the future. So on one side of the scale, we have emotionless AI algorithms. They give us highly objective, lightning-fast data processing, machine learning, and automated execution. They don't feel fear, and they definitely don't feel greed. But on the other side, we have human emotional intelligence. The really crucial point here is that AI still completely lacks the irreplaceable human ability to read non-financial metrics with real nuance. Things like shifting community sentiment, cultural context, or the actual vibe of social media buzz. The most successful traders of the future are definitely going to be the ones who can balance AI's raw analytical power with a really high human EQ. Which brings us perfectly to Section 5, Trading Mindset and the Keys to Success. Building true mental toughness requires a combination of these core pillars. You have to develop a really resilient growth mindset, where you treat those inevitable losses as highly valuable learning opportunities rather than taking them as personal failures. You've got to focus on the actual process of making a good trade rather than obsessing over the final financial outcome. And honestly, above all else, you need absolute self-discipline. That means using strict risk management tools like stop-loss orders every single time. It is the only way to protect your capital from your own worst instincts. To truly rewire your brain against the cognitive biases we've explored today, you really need the full picture in your hands. For the complete deep dive, own the paperback. Get your high-quality paperback edition on Amazon via the link in the description. Add it to your collection today. Please share this video and check the description for more. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Are you finally ready to master your own mind so that you can truly master the market?